So let's talk about this 2020 draft. That was, and we've talked about this in previous podcasts, how you wanted to stockpile a bunch of day three picks because you didn't know how the sort of sprint to undrafted free agency was going to work. So you guys stockpile a ton of picks with the Vikings. But that was the COVID year. We went to the combine. You were there too, obviously, with the Vikings, but we were there with CBS Sports HQ,
There
talked to.
was no combine. All it was a medical combine that year, so no one
No,
did use
no,
them.
that was 2021. 2020, that was before everything shut down.
Oh, that was before everything shut
Yeah,
down.
because we talked to Justin Jefferson. We had him on set like we did a few months ago when you were with us. We had all those guys come through. Justin Herbert to Joe Burrow, they all came through, and then weeks later, everything shut down. So Debo put this in a rundown, and we'll go over it again since we're talking the 2020 mock draft. How different was that? Because we've seen clips, and Debo's played clips of you and Mike Zimmer on the Zoom call together when the Eagles took Debo's favorite player, Jalen Reagor, and you seem pretty excited about that. So doing things remotely, the first question I have to ask is who set up all the cameras and the equipment in your house? Because it wasn't you.
No, I had no chance. I had no chance. It was amazing though what our IT department came up with, and I called it the IT draft because
Yeah.
of all the technology that had to go into that. I know, I believe that was the year we locked ourselves in a hotel room before the draft. We thought we were going to be able to use a ballroom, but then the league came out and said you can't use a ballroom because you can't gather.
Oh,
So me and my assistant GM at the time, George Payton, who's a GM out in Denver, moved into the JW Marriott at Mall of America in
swanky.
Minneapolis, and it was 17 floors, and we were the only two people in there.
I was going to say they were actually open.
They were open, but there was no one in there. But they
Right.
did have, because it was kind of close to the airport in case there was any travelers. But
Right.
it was very different. We had to get technology because everybody was remote. The coaches, all the people that were involved in the draft process had to tie in, and I didn't have enough bandwidth at my house, so that's why we
Mm,
used the Marriott during the
gotcha.
meetings. They had better bandwidth, and we were able to push out video in real time. So as we were sitting there watching players and doing our group studies, we were able to do that. I would control the remote from the hotel, and it was real time what everybody was seeing.
Like
So
your
it's
old
just
Blusto days. You had to get to
yeah,
the clicker early.
yeah. So well, I was the only one with a clicker. No one else can control that. But there
Who-
was technology there that was incredible because when you try to push video out, if you don't have the right technology and bandwidth and you're trying to study tape, it's delayed on everybody
Ugh,
else watching it or
right.
it skips. So we had to have whatever they came up with. This technology was able to make the video not skip and able to watch it in real time as I clicked it back and forth. Everybody else was seeing the same thing.
So how long were you in that hotel? Because you did the
30,
draft from your house.
30 days we moved in.
Holy Moses! Did you get to go home or you couldn't leave?
I left, I'd sneak home for Sunday dinners
Okay.
and then go back, but I was scared to death. And most people were that,
Yeah.
God forbid, right before the draft back then, if you got COVID and you couldn't do the draft because you had COVID, that would have been a pretty tough deal there. So we were overly cautious on not only making sure that we were isolated in that hotel, but even when I came home, I wanted to make sure that everybody was safe and healthy when I snuck out for Sunday night dinners. But 6 days of the week, we were locked into that hotel.
Oh my gosh. You must have did a lot of walking on the treadmill or something. You didn't go
No,
crazy?
yeah, they had a chain and a padlock on the weight room and on the entrance into the Mall of America. So everything was did a lot of walking outside to get some exercise, and then my exercise was walking up and down 17 floors to go. So you know what? The one thing that made me really focus, you didn't want to leave everything up in your room when you came down to start the meeting because you knew you'd have to walk up another 17 flights to go get whatever you left up in your room. But
Now,
we
if I
had
had to
yeah, a special room that they set up for us. We were the only people there, so the chef would come in, and we had a concierge,
Oh,
and
gosh.
they would come in and get what our breakfast order was. I did my favorite sandwich they were able to come up with, and my favorite breakfast was egg in a hole. I don't know if you ever heard of egg in a hole.
Is that like in bread?
Yeah, they put out a little hole in a piece of bread, fry it in butter, and then fry the egg in top the hole. And then the breakfast sandwich was English muffin with fried egg, bacon, and peanut butter.
On the same sandwich?
Oh yeah, it's awesome. I highly recommend it.
I would also recommend that you get that concierge to help you hook up Paramount Plus because I think I know where the issue is. All right.